Good morning, Susie Cobden. Chronic pain. Now, chronic pain is something that has been part of my life for a long time, about 26 years to be honest. According to the doctors, I was pregnant with my last child when it first started playing up, and it was my right ankle. Now, I woke in the middle of the night crying with pain. My ankle was swollen, and x-rays and things like that didn't show anything up. However, the pain was unbearable. Just to move the ankle in the smallest degree was more than I could handle. And it lasted for about 2 weeks. Dosed up with painkillers and antibiotics, and it seemed to improve. Every now and then I'd have a sore ankle, but it didn't didn't repeat in the same way as it had previously for about 2 years. And then I had another bout of it, and further x-rays, and the doctor tells me I've got some disease. It's got a name. The bone's degenerating, and there's not a lot they can do for it. I've got to live with it. Okay, that's fine. And they put me on anti-inflammatories, which I took for several years, to be honest. Back then I was very straight down the line and listened to doctors and believed what they told me, and it seemed my only option. I was told by somebody who knew what they were doing. So over the years my ankle got worse, and about 2005 perhaps, I had surgery on the ankle to clean it out, an arthroscope, and they removed some bone chips and some of the swelling that was going on in the joint as far as bone issues. And I was on crutches for 6 or 8 weeks, and it took a long time to heal to the point where I could walk comfortably. Now, I wasn't satisfied with what I'd been told. The doctors told me that the only thing that would give me relief was a fusion of the bone, which back then meant taking bone from the hip and putting it into the joint, plus major surgery down there to remove bones and shape bones and screw things together, and I wasn't up for that. It sounded just way too drastic. So I had a trip to a specialist, a second opinion, and he wanted to do a cartilage transplant in there, which sounded fine. Only when he did further exploration, he said the joint wasn't healthy enough. So again, he wanted to do a fusion, and I said no. And he said, well, you won't be walking by the end of the year, I can tell you that now. Anyway, I stuck to my guns and it didn't happen. Then in 2012, a month before Christmas, my ankle actually froze. Now, it had been heading to that for 2 years and I'd been ignoring it. I'd get up out of bed each morning in terrible pain and couldn't get my foot flat. And luckily it was only 3 feet to my bathroom door and another 3 feet into the shower. So I had things I could hang on to, and I would kind of hop on one leg across there, and I'd get in the shower. And in the shower I would force my foot flat, and I discovered if I twisted my knee inwards and turned my leg quite abruptly, which was very painful but bearable, I could actually unlock my joint. So that's what I did, and that went on, as I said, every morning for almost 2 years. Anyway, this time, a month before Christmas 2012, it locked up and I couldn't get it unlocked, and my foot wasn't flat, I couldn't walk on it. So I hobbled to work. Don't know how I got there, but got to my car, got myself to work, and got into work and couldn't work because I couldn't, walk around in the business. I was managing a bookstore and I was in a lot of pain. And one of my staff got me a set of crutches through the chemist that was not very far away, and I was able to get around. Now, I couldn't get an appointment with a specialist until February, and when he had a look, he said, after new x-rays and MRIs and all sorts of things, he said, "Oh, you've got to have an ankle fusion." And I said, "No, I really think there's just a chip in the ankle, a chip in the joint, because it's been locking up for 2 years." And he kind of shook his head and said, "Well, why haven't you done something about it?" And I was too proud to go and see about it. I wanted to heal it myself, By now, I was into discovering myself, and I know that beliefs create everything, and I was determined I was going to heal it myself to the point of blocking out medical help. I'd also started taking turmeric, which is a natural anti-inflammatory, and I'd gone off all medications, not taking any anti-inflammatories or painkillers, but life was uncomfortable. And anyway, I had the surgeon do another arthroscope, and he said to me, "If the joint is as it appears, I really suggest that you have your ankle fusion." And I said, "I really don't want it, but if that's the only way I'm going to be able to walk, then go ahead and do it." So that's how I went into surgery. When I came out of surgery, I had a cast on my foot and figured they'd done it. But to my surprise, when the surgeon came around, he said that they'd pulled several bone chips out of my ankle, and the remainder of the cartilage which was there, he showed me photos about the size of a large toenail clipping. So they'd stitched me back up. I was in a cast for 4 weeks. I was on crutches for another 3 months and still couldn't get my foot very flat. And the surgeon actually said to me, "I'll give you a discount on your fusion because I know that you'll be back before the end of the year because you can't go on like you are." But when I actually carried on for 18 months. On and off, my ankle was giving me grief. And when I finished at the bookstore, which was 12 months ago now, 12 months ago, 2 weeks ago actually, and started following my heart, things started to improve big time. And the last 12 months have been absolutely incredible. So I don't like to dwell on the fact of the labels that the doctors have given me. I don't like to dwell on the fact that, they've told me there's no cartilage and that it's irreversible, because I absolutely know that everything is reversible. I speak to my body, I speak to my cells, I speak to my ankle. But most of all, I've accepted it. And that's a big thing. What we resist persists. Once we can accept ourselves as we are without needing to change anything, big shifts start to happen. When we can accept our condition, in this case my ankle, the way it is, and give it love, it responds. It's like, a child responds to love, your ego responds to love, and so do the cells in your body. Now our cells regenerate, skin cells and flesh cells, meat, muscle, they regenerate and replace themselves, sometimes within days or weeks or months. Even bone and teeth cells replace themselves within 12 months. So, we have a condition that goes on and on and on, and it's because of whatever's behind it. Everything that goes on in our body is related to our thoughts and our beliefs. If we believe we have something that cannot repair itself, that's the message we're giving ourselves. If we are getting older and looking older, as we all are, it's because we have those beliefs that as we age, we have to change our appearance. We get saggy, we put on weight perhaps, all of these things. And they're all beliefs that if we can change, we'll do miraculous things to our body. So, but it starts with self-love. So, and not needing to change, because what you resist persists. So if you keep wanting to change the condition of a certain part of your body, you're resisting what is. By loving it, you're accepting it, and change can happen naturally. Once you start loving your cells respond. Once you start talking to your cells, the cells respond. So it comes back to self-love as well. So loving the self is the absolute first thing you can do. Be grateful for your body. In whatever condition it's in because of our thoughts and our beliefs, our programming. It's nothing outside of ourselves. It hasn't betrayed you. In fact, it's followed your every thought and every word and done exactly as you've requested. So it's about getting in touch with yourself, getting in touch with your beliefs, getting in touch with your heart, and knowing that anything's possible, and trusting yourself and allowing that healing to take place. It's about visualizing and focus on where you want to be, not focus on the illness, and not focus on the way it holds you up, not to focus on the pain. Although at times, I've had times where I can't even relax my ankle because the pain in moving it is excruciating. So, even to sit my ankle up to raise it, to try and reduce the inflammation on a pillow is more than I can bear, because lifting it up and allowing it to relax is movement that is, as I said, excruciating. So it's really about just accepting what is, not needing to change it, loving it because it's the way it is. It's the way it is because that's the way we've made it, and becoming friends with it, and then focusing on the freedom, the way you want to be, but giving love to what is. And when you've got pain, I don't mean for you to look the other way and ignore it. And sometimes we can, especially if we're out. We'll tend to do it sometimes because of circumstances. But sometimes sitting with pain is the best thing you can do. If you can sit with it and love it, the energy of love actually brings balance and raises the frequency in our whole body, including that area, and starts to heal, because high frequencies are more connected to our own inner being, to our source, and that's where our life force comes from. So I've had a lot of experience working with chronic pain and so-called unhealable illnesses, and I've been mostly successful with that. I'm not saying that I haven't got a ways to go. we're all a work in progress, but I don't take any turmeric anymore, and I don't take any painkillers, and I don't take any anti-inflammatories. And I would say 95% of my time I'm healthy and I'm able to walk relatively normally. I don't have a lot of movement in that ankle, so by relatively normally, that's what I mean. I'm mostly pain-free. So I would love to help anybody who is working with these issues. It's all a part of discovering of the self, because a medical issue is not just a medical issue. It involves the whole self. But anybody that would like to chat, I'm offering a free discovery call. You can book an appointment on my calendar, and I'll put the link with this video. Otherwise, stay tuned for the next video. We'll be chatting about anything that you would like to chat about. So if you've got certain topics you would like some help with, please leave a message for me. Leave a message for anybody in the group. In any interaction, all interaction is good interaction, and no question is silly. So get your questions out, ask what you want, because growth comes from understanding, from knowing who you are and where to place your focus, and different techniques in how to discover that. So have a lovely day. I'm about to head outside, and yeah, love to you all. Bye-bye.